the game, cause see the boxing voice.
Welcome back, gang, for the first time and hopefully many more to come. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and click on the notifications right here, this little bell, so you can get those emails every time we go live.
ThaBoxingvoice.com. I'm here with none other than Steven Brand, man. How you feel today, Brand?
Good, man, good.
Okay, well, you just got the win out there.
Yeah, man, my young guy, he did real good.
Okay, let the people know who he is.
Romiel Cuco Cruz, he fights at 122.
122, okay.
Real good kid, man.
Yeah, he's big for 122.
Yeah, it's a pleasure training him, man. He works real hard, man. Even when I got to go away for somebody else's fight, he's always, you know, he's a real easy kid to train, man.
Do you remember the two things you said he'd say the whole time while y'all in the gym?
Yes and okay.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. In the gym, there's no back talk. There's no why I gotta do this, and that's too many rounds. And he just, kid is a dog, man. You know, it's a pleasure training me.
Okay, that's what's up, man. Well, I wanted to get your take on, no, first, man, you know, I want to thank you for allowing the Boxing Voice to view that fight with Julian Jarrett Williams, the one that you just got.
Oh, yeah. It was on the international. It was on the international broadcast, so you know you my man, so I'll let you take a look at it.
Yeah, he looked phenomenal, man. That's what we call assault. That was assault, man, but he looked sharp. You know, he looked like, you know, J-Rock has, you know, definitely evolved.
Well, you know, throughout time you're going to evolve,
okay,
so that's what you're supposed to do, right?
Speaking of which, let's go right into his career evolving. Let's talk about Jarrett Hurd. When are we going to see the match?
Hopefully this spring. That's what I've been hearing, you know. Hurd, he won his fight on the same card. Julian is #1 in the IBF. Okay. He says he wants another fight before he fights Charlo, so.
Does it make you feel like he said he wanted, so you think that he would take a J-Rock fight right before he fight a Charlo?
I don't think Jarrett Hurd's scared of nobody.
Okay.
I don't think he's afraid. I think he'll fight Julian. I don't think he I think he respects Julian, but I don't think he's afraid of him where it's like, oh my God, I won't fight J-Rock before I fight Charlo. I think he will. Jarrett Hurd's a gun, man. He's a killer. He fought Lara. He could have milked the belt. You don't have to fight a unification fight. So he could have milked this belt and sat around, and he didn't. So I believe he will, you know, if that's what's in the best interest of his team or whatever.
What do you think about him? I know you just said he's a gun, and that speaks to his willingness to go in there and do, you know, whoever. What do you think about him as a fighter, style-wise, and just everything about him? What do you see in him?
I think he's a hell of a fighter. I seen him fight back in the day, man, and he was just okay. You know what I mean? I think he had a little tough decision against dude Chris Chapman. I don't know if you know where that is, but it was like a pretty decent little guy, and Hurd struggled with him, man. And then, you know, like in 2015, 2016, he started like really improving. So I respect him, man. He's strong, he's long, he takes a hell of a punch. He has excellent stamina. He may not seem like it, but I think he has a high IQ. People think if a guy come forward, they don't have a high IQ. But I think he got a high IQ. He was doing some real good stuff to Trout. He was like changing southpaw on him. And Trout was lighting him up early. So he had to make an adjustment. From everything I heard, they sparred before. So he had to make an adjustment. Lara was hitting him with counter left hands, and he started hitting Lara with a hook to the body and kind of keeping Lara's hands in. You know, Harrison was getting busy with him, and he was able to walk him down late. That takes a lot, man. That takes adjustments, you know. It may not seem like it because he's coming forward, but you still got to have an IQ to make an adjustment to take the other. At the end of every fight, everybody looks all fatigued and beat up with him, so he's doing something right. I got a lot of respect for the dude, man. Got a good team around him. He comes down from real far in weight, and he still has his energy on fight night. So that showed me that he's up on his nutrition. He does all the right things as far as that. Because I don't care how much you train, you got to put the right stuff in your body. If you're losing 36 pounds and then you got to fight 12 rounds. So the fact that he can do that and still be strong on fight night and still have stamina late in fights, that lets me know that he's up on his nutrition. A lot of these young guys, they're not up on their nutrition. They don't eat right. You know what I mean? So I got all the respect in the world for Jarrett Hurd, man. I think he's a nice kid, and I think he's a hell of a fighter.
Okay. A lot of people think that, it's the size that separates him from everybody in that 154-pound division. You know, I definitely see a lot of skill in there as well. J-Rock has a lot of skill. When we talk about J-Rock and we talk about Hurd, I know you wouldn't give up a game plan at all. How would you approach that fight, knowing everything you know about Hurd?
I gotta kind of like wait for the fight to get signed and stuff before I start getting into all of that. You kind of get an idea, but I'm gonna tell you something, man. At the top level, two guys gotta kind of line up in front of each other. You know what I mean? Because you never really know certain things until they get in the ring. You know, obviously you look at a fighter in flaw of and not in awe of. I respect Hurd, but I'm not in awe of him. You know what I mean? So I look at him in a way like, okay, he's a beast, but it's things that I'm sure it's things that his trainers see he could do to Julian. You know what I mean? So we got to see. But if the fight gets signed, I sit down and, you know, look at him a little bit differently and start working things out. You know, right now it's a lot of room between the cup and the lip, man. It's boxing. Because people say things, that don't mean things is gonna happen. Absolutely. We've been a #1 contender before, man. And sometimes you gotta wait it out. So, you know, at this stage, you never get excited. You know, you just kind of just take everything at face value. But I know we got our work cut out for us because he's a deep water fighter. Deep water fighters, man, guys that get stronger as the fight go on. They always troubled, man, because you gotta be on your P's and Q's for 36 straight minutes. I don't look at it because he's bigger than everybody else, because he's making the weight. You know what I mean? If you can make the weight, you can make the weight. You know, if he can make the weight and rehydrate properly, then that's to his advantage. You know, if Julian beats him, just like I don't want nobody to say, well, Hurd was struggling to make weight. You know what I'm saying? Because that goes both ways. Sometimes when the guy struggle to make weight, then they blame that on the loss. So I don't want to blame his wins on the weight and the loss on the weight. So Julian not small either. You know what I mean? He might not be as big as Hurd, but it's not easy for him to make weight either. So I'm not going to get into that. The kid makes the weight, and whatever he's doing, he's coming in the ring strong, so you got to respect it.
Do we get a Jermell Charlo in a J-Rock or Julian Williams fight?
Oh, I mean, we take that fight too. We #1 in the WBC. You know.
Is that a fight you want right now?
I'll take the fight.
Okay.
I mean, Julian 28, man. We ain't got to be riding around the block for nobody. The fight is a fight. I would take the fight if it was presented to us. But Harrison got the fight. I would have took the fight for December 22nd. But if Harrison, you know, got the fight, and he's a worthy challenger, and you know, Jermell's earned the right to pick who he wants to fight. He already had a couple of mandatories, you know, with Lubin and I think Charles Hatley. So he earned the right to make a voluntary defense. So I definitely don't think it's no ducking or nothing like that. You know, guys just, you know, they fight who they want to fight for whatever reasons they got. But that's a fight I'll take too. It will be Hurd or Charlo. It don't matter to me because he's in the. Julian is #1 with the IBF and he's #1 with the WBC. So whoever gives us the opportunity, we're taking it.
Okay, let me ask you a question, man. Do you think that people view J-Rock, man, as high risk, low reward in terms of as far as big names? Because J-Rock is very to himself. Julian Williams is to himself. He's not really in the media as you see a lot of other fighters. Do you think that takes away from him having the stock for those fighters to say, hey, I definitely want that for a big payday right there? Because this guy's notoriety is what's going to help us, what's going to sell the tickets and sell pay-per-views and things like that.
You know what? If it was a pay-per-view kind of deal, I might buy that. But the checks that Showtime and Fox and then Al Heyman make sure that these guys get, if somebody was to say that, that would be a lot. Jarrett Hurd just made $1 million to fight Jason Wellborn. So I don't want to hear that. You know what I mean? If a guy want to fight, he want to fight. Like, come on, man. You know what I mean? Like Jarrett Hurd for Lara, right? Lara don't even speak English. So you fight who you want to fight when a network is cutting the checks for the rights fee. Julian got a following. He got a little story behind him. You know, he's not a square walking around with corny clothes on and all that kind of stuff like people don't know. So if it's a pay-per-view, I would say, all right, well, there's certain guys that are at a certain level, but the money that them guys is getting, trust me, you know what I mean? They that's not the reason why nobody's not fighting. You know what I mean? It's not at that level yet. It's only like 5 or 6 guys in boxing at that level, where it's like Canelo, Wilder, Fury, Anthony Joshua. You know what I'm saying? Where Triple G, where their personalities is how many people are going to buy this. None of these guys can headline a pay-per-view card yet. I'm a realist. You know what I mean? Not a pay-per-view card. They could be the main event on the Showtime card, but a pay-per-view card is something totally different. As live as the personalities of Wilder and Fury is, they probably gonna do 300,000 or 400,000 buys on pay-per-view. Okay. Mayweather and Pacquiao doing 2, 3, 4 million buys. So people kind of confuse that, man. It's levels to superstardom in boxing, and what these kids are very, very known fighters throughout the hardcore boxing community, but none of them is doing 400,000 or 500,000 buys on pay-per-view just yet, for the exception of Canelo or Triple G. So somebody say that, don't believe the hype, because there's not too many people in boxing that can do that. You know what I mean? That's a totally different stratosphere.
Speaking of pay-per-view, I want to get your take, and this is the last one. I promise, because you know I sit here with you this camera all night. Manny Pacquiao, Adrian Broner. Break that fight down. Is this a way for them to get Adrian Broner where they felt he should have been, or is this for Manny Pacquiao a way to get, I don't know, I feel crazy even saying it, to get Floyd back in the ring?
I think it's a winnable fight for both guys, man. I mean, obviously Pacquiao is like a legend, top 25, 30 fighters to ever live, but he's 40 years old, man. He's, in my opinion, he's well past his prime. I think he's past his prime. I think his prime was over like 2011, 2012. Broner's been around a long time, but he's only in his 20s. I think he's like 29. And he's bigger than Pacquiao. So everybody thinks Pacquiao's gonna kill Broner. Pacquiao hasn't knocked anybody out in a while except for Lucas Matisse. And Broner got a sturdy chin, so I could see the fight being more competitive than what people think. Broner can win this fight, you know what I mean? I'm not saying he is, but it's not like you're going up against a beast in their prime. 11 years in boxing, bro. One dude 29 and one dude 40. That's a long time in boxing. You know, Pacquiao got like 70 fights. So wear and tear is, I mean, Tom is undefeated. So is Pacquiao the favorite? Yes. You know, should he be the favorite? Yes. Has he had the better career? Yes. But that don't mean he could beat Broner. You know what I mean? Look, how about this? Who did everybody think was going to win between Saddam Ali and Miguel Cotto? Right? That's a similar fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? That's a similar fight. Where Cotto and Pacquiao, they're greater fighters.
Cotto also had a really nasty tear in his arm as well.
Yeah, but when you get older, you get them kind of injuries.
That's
you know
the
what
wear
I
and
mean?
tear that you
That's the wear and
on.
tear on your body. So, you know, it's a fight, man. When two guys line up in the boxing ring, you never know how it's going to turn out. If Broner gets in shape and do what he got to do, he has a chance. I'm not saying he's going to win. I'm not picking him, but I'm just saying that I don't believe it's going to be a manslaughter the way people look at it, man. Pacquiao's getting older, and that's, you know, I think the world of Pacquiao, man. The run that he had from like 08 to 2010, I never seen that like that in my life. But that's a long time ago.
So, well, I don't think people think that he's just going to just walk through Broner by any regards. I mean, we haven't seen Manny Pacquiao really do that in years. I think it's more so about the lifestyle of Adrian Broner, and when he gets in the ring, the lack of a punch output, and Manny Pacquiao still throws a lot of punches. I
think that that's a stylistic problem for Broner. For whatever reason, against a certain level of guys, he don't let his hands go. I don't know why. Especially against Mikey Garcia, I was kind of surprised that he didn't let his hands go against Garcia, because Garcia was kind of in front of him.
Could it be because he's damaged from the Maidana fight? Is he gun shy now? Because
oh no, I don't. You know,
have we seen him not be gun shy since the Maidana fight?
I never really thought about it. I wouldn't say gun shy. I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't.
I heard Bernard Hopkins say that a fight like that can take 5 or 6 fights off of you. And in the last 5 or 6 fights I've seen Adrian Broner fight, I haven't seen that Adrian Broner that we saw prior to the Maidana fight?
It could be.
Was it too much damage, and is that why he was not willing to really engage with Mikey Garcia?
See, I'm not gonna say there's too much damage because in this era, everybody's so medically inclined to say the right thing. Every time a guy's in a tough fight, people start talking about damage and he's ruined. Where dudes had 10, 15 tough fights like that 30 years ago and they'd be just fine. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna say it's too much damage. I don't know. I don't know Adrian Broner like that in the gym to know whether he was damaged from the Maidana fight. Sometimes a tough fight like that make you better. You know what I mean? I don't know. I do think his punch output is an issue when you're dealing with Manny Pacquiao, because Manny Pacquiao let his hands go.
Absolutely.
You know, how about this? Manny Pacquiao damage? He been knocked out before.
Yeah.
He been put to sleep before. He get up and rumble. So is he damaged? So I don't like to say that because a lot of times that stuff is mental. You know what I mean? So who knows?
But Manny Pacquiao has an offense that pretty much is his defense on a good day. But Adrian Broner doesn't have an offense. He doesn't have a defense.
No, listen. They different styles of fighting. Broner kind of got like that walk down.
Yeah, walk down.
You know, the guys in the amateurs from Cincinnati, they do that real good. But Pacquiao kind of fights with his feet. He's in and out, and he steps around you. He's just different level of. Now, I'm not gonna say different level of fighter. He's different type of fighter. Pacquiao's much more busier. He has a higher work rate. So it's hard to tell. You know what I mean? I think it's gonna be a good fight. I probably expect a decision. You know what I mean? Broner shows a steady chin. And I think that the promotion's gonna be great because Broner talks that shit, man. So I think it's gonna be a real good promotion, man. And Broner's coach, Mike Stafford and Kevin Cunningham, I like them guys, man. So, you know, I wish them the best of luck.
Okay. But you didn't say who was going to win with the decision.
You know what? I don't really have a prediction. But if you made me bet and stuff, I can't pick against Manny Pacquiao in a fight with a guy that don't let his hands go. Because you see, like, with guys with their hands up and in, like Joshua Clottey and Margarito, Pacquiao kind of tears you up with that kind of style. So it's hard for me to pick against him in a fight like this. But I will say that I think that Broner has a chance, and I think Kevin Cunningham get them guys in good shape out there. So I'm expecting Broner to put forth a good effort.
Would you ever want to see Floyd Mayweather and Adrian Broner fight?
You know what? Yeah, I would. I would. Yeah, I would. Because I would like to see like the dynamic of their friendship and how they act in the ring. I wouldn't mind seeing that fight, man.
I'm not shocked at the fact that Adrian Broner and Floyd Mayweather, you're talking about two of the biggest names in sports. The two biggest names in sports. I'm talking from a standpoint of, recently you just said that Manny Pacquiao passed his prime. So I'm shocked that you would want to see a 40-year-old Floyd come back and fight somebody like Adrian Broner, who's only 28, 29 years old.
See, here's the thing. Just because Manny and Floyd passed their prime, that don't mean they're not better than everybody else.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because they peaks was so high. 2010, 11, 12. 13, some of these guys never gonna reach their peak. So what they did was they just coming back down to earth to everybody else. You know what I mean? Them dudes is like, I mean, they like the best two fighters of the last 10, 15. I think they're the best two fighters since Roy Jones and Pernell Whitaker.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And
elite, right?
Yeah, I mean, they like super, like, yeah, you know what I mean? It's like a different level of good that they are. So it's hard to, like, just because they passed their prime, it don't mean that they can't beat, like Pacquiao was able to beat Chris Algieri and Jesse Vargas and Tim Bradley. Oh, he's able to do all that stuff past his prime. You know what I mean? And Floyd's able to beat guys like Andre Berto. And
Chris Algieri was a 140-pounder.
So, but Pacquiao's this big. He's small too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Tim Bradley is a Hall of Famer.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Brandon Rios is a big guy. You know what I'm saying? So they still able to beat a certain level of guy is what I'm saying. Like Floyd was able to beat Maidana, right? Floyd was past his prime when he fought Maidana. Maidana was able to beat Broner in his prime. So it's their level of achievement is just totally different than everybody else's from this era.
Who would you pick to win that fight, Floyd and Adrian Broner?
It's hard for me to pick Broner against
previous fights.
Either one of those guys. I respect Broner, but I can't pick him to beat Mayweather or Pacquiao. It's guys that I think that could beat Mayweather and Pacquiao right now, but it's not. I wouldn't pick Broner. Like I don't think they could beat Spence You know what I mean? He's a little too much for them. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't think they could beat Crawford. But I wouldn't pick.
You don't think Manny Pacquiao or Floyd can beat Spence?
No, not right now. Not at this moment. They would have to go in the time machine, man. Earl, rough dude, man. You know what I mean?
So then you don't pick no 147-pounder to beat him. You don't pick the super elite to beat him, even though you say that don't mean that they're levels above everybody right now.
Well,
So
age would be an issue with Earl.
Okay.
Earl, different level. Earl can hurt you, man.
When it comes to the Keith Thurmans and the Sean Porters and those guys,
I gotta see Keith Thurman. I haven't seen him in a long time. You know what I mean? But Earl and Crawford stands out at 147 right now to me.
Absolutely. Okay, well, I want to thank you for your time. Stephen Breadman Edwards, it's always a pleasure. Thank you for giving the Boxing Voice a moment. Yeah. And Jay Goodman, thanks for clicking on.
What is up, TBV family? Yes, YouTube has been cutting funding to their channels as of late, and with net neutrality going through its process, the internet is changing. If you want to keep your favorite channel intact, coming up with tons of content, and plus get hours and hours of extra content, head over to patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice to become a member of the TBV family and help support the channel. Peace.